And good morning, folks. For it is I, the yin to the yang, the dragon render, the LWD, or Darren Dastardly, or Mr. Getting It Done, Mr. MGID, and I'm here with
the one, the only, the Egyptian prodigy, the Pharaoh, Adofo. Or some people call me Nova.
Oh, yeah, Nova. And if you're listening to this, ladies and gentlemen, you obviously must be bored because we're kind of wasting your time because we're coming in with the Meaningless review. And today's episode edition, main focal points to be exact, is to focus on corruption, CTO corruption, episode 1, and Malachi versus Scarlet, Indomitable versus Undefeated. And I'll let Adofo talk here, or Nova.
I'm gonna just put out a disclaimer right now. Darren is brutal. He's vicious. Do not be offended by anything that he may say. And do not be offended by anything I may say. Because I may not sound like it, but I can guarantee you that I can be a bit of an asshole. It happens.
It does happen.
Well, are we going to be starting with Malachi versus Christopher Scarlett, the Indomitable versus Undefeated?
Yes, we will. So, coming into this match, the story is like, I don't know what you think, Adofo, but like the story is like off the charts, to be exact. To me, I felt they did a really good job with the promos. There are a lot of original. And
I hear the phone in your background.
Yeah, it's on the because I'm talking on the phone. So like you're gonna hear it, but it's not gonna pick up on my mic. If that makes sense.
All right. But yeah, continue.
What you call it? So yeah, the story was amazing. The story, I enjoyed the build up, the hype for it, so I was ready for it because I was telling you I gotta look out for this match because it possibly could be.
You were the one who told me that this was gonna be the match of the year for the Xbox side, that I guaranteed, and that was your thought. I was a bit more hesitant. Because I did enjoy the build up and I thought it was fantastic, but the thing about Malachi is that I've noticed, and this is not a shot at Malachi because I really do think he's a great performer, but there are just some times where I feel as if he flops in a sense. Like, there are some times I feel as if the build is there, everything is there, and then the match just ends up not fulfilling what you thought it was because they don't do it in the way that's supposed to be done. And that feels like a bit contradictory because it's their match. But you feel as if like the course that they take was not the course that fitted the story, and that's like I've seen that happen to Malachi in certain instances. I may get a bit of flack for this, but Rivera versus Malachi 3, I wasn't really a big fan of that match. I showed it to some people on the PS4 side; they weren't really that big a fan of it either. And it's just that it felt as if everything was off, like the timing of everything. But the story to it was fantastic. Like the way they did the promos, everything was fantastic. Yes, this build is better, but I still felt that case of like slight disappointment. But there have been other times where the build to it is pretty simple, but the match has been excellent, and I enjoyed it. Like Malachi versus Ricky Duncan 3. I really like that match. That's probably one of my favorite matches on the Xbox side ever since 2K16 hit. Because it was probably the best performance. It was the best performance out of Ricky Duncan, definitely. And maybe the best performance out of Malachi. Arguably.
Yeah, I can argue. I can also argue, once we get later down the road into that corruption card, there's pretty good matches on there as well.
Yeah.
But like you said, you talk about being let down and stuff. Malachi hits or runs. I think one of the things about Malachi is going into this and watching the match. You know, the whole thing. constantly comes up is Indomitable versus Undefeated. I really feel that in this match, I feel that Scarlet. I know Malachi says he's indomitable or whatever, but I really feel Scarlet should have made it a point and a testament to dominate Malachi, because it would have sold that situation a little bit more. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
That's another thing that's been with Malachi's like matches as of late. I feel as if he kind of lost that underdog feeling, like that underdog pacing of a match where he gets he gets the shit beaten out of him. But it's like you don't really feel that anymore. You feel as if he's kind of gone away from that. And the thing is, I understand that, and I'm not saying it's necessarily a good or bad thing. And I'm fine with him not being called the underdog anymore. That was my main issue with it. That he was being called an underdog when he wasn't. Now he's being called the Indomitable. That makes more sense. But I feel as if this kind of... I do agree with you. I feel as if it really should have sold... going into the match, it really should have just been Scarlet dominating. I feel as... this is one of the few situations where I feel as if the match was short. Like, literally, actually, too short. To really sell the stories of who these two characters were. Of how Scarlet was this undefeatable character that somehow went to other lengths that are not known to man. And how Malachi is indomitable. And how he can take all of this punishment and still get up and have a fight. Those are the type of things where it's like... I wish that some stuff like that had been like really shown more. But it's... we'll get to that when we get to the real nitty gritty of the match.
Yeah, exactly. So, I like to say the match started out pretty... I kind of enjoyed the start a lot. I enjoyed the start. It was a lot of back and forth. I thought leading up towards to the middle, I thought that's where I talked about Scarlet should have went ahead and start dominating, or at least put that underdog effect, like you said, that Malachi needed.
Yeah.
And basically, it's like the match wasn't bad. There was times. My only gripes about the match. Let me just get into this. My only gripes about the match was all the reversals in the last 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. I think there was just too much, and then they started doing the same reversals.
Exactly.
So it's like
it didn't have as much impact. So here's the thing: you can do the same moves over and over again, but that has to tell a story. There has to be some type of story there. Doing the same reversal time and time again doesn't really work. There are certain times where I felt as if the match would have really gotten better if they had actually hit the moves. Like if one of them had like actually hit the back suplex they were going for and went for the pin, and then they went for rapid fire pins, that really gets the dramatic feel of the match going. But it's like this goes to the other point of the match feeling too short. I feel as if they tried to jam-pack all of that action and all of the fact that they were equals in the ring in those last 5 minutes, and it just came off as a bit forced. Especially, like, the ending part. We'll get to that soon. I do think the last 5 minutes is what took the match a bit down, in my opinion.
Big time.
Yeah. Because otherwise, when you think of it and think up to the middle, even the middle wasn't exactly what you wanted. If the match had been a bit longer and the ending segments had been different, the match still could have been arguably one of the best matches on 2K16, period. Not just on the Xbox side. I'm talking period.
I think pacing was great. I mean, they could go a little longer. In my opinion, I think the timing was right. It's just in the last 5 minutes, when you're that, somebody is looking for the game changer move or whatever. Malachi's known for the super kick.
You have to have some type of actual impact to really sell that the people are getting damaged or something. Because that's like... Okay, I'll get into it right now. The ending with Malachi and Scarlet, the actual ending of the match, fell entirely flat. It fell flat, and I'll tell you the reason why, is because there was too little impact being done to Scarlet. This is this big undefeated streak. One of like the biggest undefeated streaks like on the Xbox side, period. And I'm not really that big of a fan of undefeated streaks, but the thing is, if you're gonna do them, you have to treat them right. And the fact of the matter is, this ending fell flat. I'm gonna do a comparison to real life. This felt like when Triple H beat Goldberg in the Elimination Chamber after one sledgehammer.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I know what you mean. And the thing was with it is because didn't they do like a, I don't know if it was like a AA reversal, the fireman's carry reversal, or
Yeah, they had
if it
already
was
done that in the match
side
before.
slam. Yeah, they did it, and we seen it the whole match, where they were reversing out of the side slam reversal or the Germans, or there was just a lot of reversals. And I'm not saying reversing is wrong, but if you're just gonna constantly reverse, then
Yeah,
you need to end
I think
off of
it
it
kind
with a
of
huge
lost the
situation,
narrative.
and then it doesn't need to be the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but it kind of lost. Yeah, I agree with that. It lost its narrative. Since I think we're kind of talking about the more negative gripes about it. It lost its narrative going into the match. The narrative of the Undefeated versus the Indomitable did not show in that match. It felt like a normal one-on-one match that was like really just back and forth. Like maybe like the start of a pay-per-view, you know, like just
Yeah.
like it was just there as a throwaway match to display talent. That's kind of the story that was told. It didn't tell the story of an indomitable, like, immortal being who can take as much punishment as anyone, versus the undefeated man who will dish out as much punishment as anyone can. It didn't tell that story. It just like it. I think they forgot about that entire. I think it was that the build didn't fit the match. That's my main thing. My main gripe. Like, even if the ending had fallen flat, even if there was like a little bit too much reversing in the last 5 minutes, if they had kept that story element, this would be higher. The rating for this would be higher than it actually is. You know, because that's one of the biggest elements in like simulation wrestling. Even though that sounds stupid, but to be quite honest, trying to call this wrestling in itself sounds dumb as well. Someone just say simulation wrestling. In simulation wrestling, like the story has so much like actual meaning to a match, and it's not that the story has to be. It's not that the story has to be incredibly sophisticated either. It can be really simple. This is in all forms of wrestling, but it has to be present in every part of the match, and it just wasn't present here.
Yeah. Now, you know, like you said, you know, these were just like the negatives. And that was just me on my gripes for the most point. Nova on his. There was positives in this match.
A good bit.
Yeah, and honestly, to be honest, I honestly think, I don't know how you feel. I honestly thought the pacing was well. It's just that, like you said, the last moments was, but the pacing was done really well. Just execute on the last 5 minutes of the match, the most important part. You guys would have had a classic. I think the beginning was done well. How you guys were showing that, hey, it's showtime. You know, it's two guys, and y'all are going out. You know, it's prime time. Y'all are going to try to one up each other until somebody gets the upper hand. I think there was a clear definitive of heel and face. The promo work to this match and the build was excellent because I was ready to see this. And that's always a good thing. You always want people ready to see your match. You know, it's a great quality. So I was like, there's stuff like that. Anything you wanna say or add on, Nova?
Another thing. Actually, no, it's not. I don't really. There's nothing really else to really talk about. I think we should just get to like the ratings. So do you want to talk first, or do you want me to put out my rating first?
Oh well, mine is straight 4-star. And it's probably just gonna stay like that. I feel just, you know, as I kept watching it over time, the longevity, I just can't give it anything higher.
I mean,
So,
it was. as much as we want to talk about the negatives, the only reason we're really talking about it this negatively is because of the build towards it being so good. But it was a good match. But when it comes to longevity, and like whether or not we'll really like remember the match fondly or not, it's kind of more of a cringe thing. Because it's like, yes, it is a good match, but we see what it could have been and like the big negatives of the match, and we remember those more than we do like the really good parts of the match. So that's kind of what I have to say about it.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, it's a great way.
So yeah, I would say like 4 out of 5. So if you're not clarified, we're doing the whole 5-star rating thing, because that's kind of the easiest way for us. But yeah, I would say it's 4 out of 5, and we can't really give it anything higher than that. So yeah, let's move on to CTO corruption.
Yeah, alright. And CTO corruption. I'm a big fan of CTO, as everybody knows, as far as reviewing. Some of the best and I guess most improved people I see come out of CTO whenever I do these reviews and stuff.
Yeah, 1 second. Do you want to talk about the ending? Because I just remembered what happened after the match.
Oh, the ending of Scarlet and Malachi?
Malachi, like what happened with the Indigo Children. Like, do you have any thoughts on that?
I don't, unless you do.
It's kind of weird because I'm not sure how I really feel about the Indigo Children. Maybe it's part of them not being on the show, which just makes me uncertain of their like importance. But the Indigo Children seem like something like that. It seems like something that wasn't really necessary for Scarlet, because he has been winning constantly. Like when I mean for Scarlet's character, he's been winning constantly, like without any help. And now all of a sudden he has this whole Indigo Children thing, and he has this new mentality. And it's like, I'm fine with it, but until I see the Indigo Children on an actual show, I'm not sure how I really feel about them.
It's a good way to put it. I wasn't too sure, so I was not gonna leave my thoughts on it because I really didn't know how to word it. But that pretty much kind of summed it up for me.
Yeah.
But now I guess we go to Corruption, episode 1. First off, right off the bat, I have to say, out of watching all the CTO content, you know, I've been watching for a long time, a long viewer and a long reviewer. This was the best CTO episode they produced, which is a good thing because, you know, improvement is good. Improvement is fantastic. So, I think it started off slow though.
Yeah, it did.
Started off slow and then it got a lot better over time. Just a couple of gripes. We'll start with the opening promo with Sean.
Yeah, I do want to comment on like CTO because it's like, until now, I have been incredibly unsure about their content. And I've been just like, it's basically, this is how I've been for almost most of the Xbox side for 2K16. I've just been unsure. Because it's like, there are certain things where it's like, I feel as if they're good, but I feel I don't really know how to really put those feelings into words. Like, there are certain things where I feel as if I need more information, I need to see them more, and I often don't. Like, I'll put RTG as a mention there. Because I was actually getting into RTG, and then they kind of halted their process. And that kind of like took me out of it. But and it's kind of been that way for almost all of Xbox so far, because it's like the leagues that do really start to pick up. Either they start up kind of slow in the fact that their show isn't really like up to par with everything else, and then they eventually die off, or they start off great, but then they end up slowing down.
Yeah.
And, like, this is one of the few shows where I can get a real definitive opinion on, like, a call show like just from seeing this episode. And that opinion is pretty good. Like, I do have my gripes, like you said, but it is a pretty good opinion.
Yeah, and so what did you think? I'll let you talk first. What did you think on Sean Gucci, the opening segment?
Okay. I had to I had to rewatch this because this is a bit rude of me, but I kind of skipped through it the first time. I rewatched it, and I still have the same opinion of the fact that it went on too long. I feel as if, here's the thing, Sean is a good micer worker, but I feel as if this is just something about this tells me, here's the thing, I already know that this is old, because I've been told this by multiple people, that this promo is old, but you can actually tell that it's old. Like, with the way that he talks, with the way he kind of feels as if he's trying to think of what else to say next. You know, you can see that it's a bit old because of how long it is, and
he's
not really getting to the
pauses.
point. Yeah.
And not that pauses are a bad thing, because you do want to feel the emotion of your words being sold to the crowd or whatever. But I mean, he was pausing a lot, and I was like, I respect Sean. To me, and I can't take this with a grain of salt, but I it's because I've been a long time viewer. It felt like characters were just being reintroduced. As far as who they are and how they do things and etc. I felt it could have been a lot shorter if they were going to do that, because I know there were new viewers watching. PS4 starting to open up more. We're starting to become a community actually, and I felt he could have just I don't know. He went
to
John Cena. He went John Cena.
We're talking about pre-2015 John Cena here. Then
yeah. But not a bad thing. Segment was okay. It was long.
There are some good parts in it. Yeah, Gucci.
Yeah, Gucci is one of my favorite characters. I hope to see more content of him. I wanted to see, because I feel like he could improve a lot more last year, and hopefully he has, and I can't wait to see him in the ring. And from that, we move on to the first match of the night, Danny Harris and Ricky Duncan.
I'm not sure whether to straight up call this out as the worst match of the night, because I don't think it is. Now that I really think about it, I don't think it is. I think the next match is probably the worst match of the night.
You think so?
I think... Wait, okay. It's either the... I know there have been... Okay, there are 2 women's matches on this card, right?
The Alexa Love one?
Yeah. I actually think so. Because that one... I'll tell you later why. But right now, if we talk about this, I just want to note something about this match. My impression of Danny Harris is a bit I'm not sure. It's not that I'm not sure how to feel about him, but I'm not sure whether or not he can improve, because he can, but it's just that. Here's the thing: when you have a bad enough impression that you can make someone just not want to really root for you, in a sense, it kind of takes away from any faith they have in you. And that's something I kind of got from Danny Harris. This goes back to the warning I said in the beginning, where I'm a bit of an asshole. This is probably where it really shines, because the way he played in the beginning, I'll say this: the beginning of the match was the worst part of the match. It picked up from the middle to the end to be okay.
Yeah.
I'd say it's an okay match, but I do think that Danny was the weak link here. Ricky, I want to see more of Ricky in better positions, because I've seen ever since the Malachi match, and since I watched that, something told me he can be better than he is if put with the right people and if given the right character.
Yeah.
that's basically it. I want to see him put with the right people, because that's when he really shines. That's when he really starts to become like better than average, in my opinion. When you put him against the right people, you get good matches, and I feel as if he needs that positioning where he's not exactly enhancement talent, but you put him against the best, you see how he does, he comes out the losing end, but he gets better with time. You groom him, essentially.
Yeah.
The match started off, like I said, Ricky did good. It's when it got to Danny again, where it just kind of slowed down. Basically in the match, there was this one segment where he caught the kick and he did a rolling elbow, and you know what? That's fine. It's like I kind of used to seeing this as a finisher, but you know what? That's fine. That can get a 2 count, or maybe even a late 2 count. That I like that too, since he's supposed to be a brawler type, but he doesn't go for the pinfall. Yeah. Which is the main thing that just took me out of the match.
He's got to sell the moves. I understand what you mean. It's all about selling your moves, because think about if you go through all your brawling arsenal immediately and don't pin, then you pretty much have used all your arsenal out. And it's basically treated as, oh, this is just beginner stuff. You have more. But when you run out, you don't. And so you repeat it. You can't just pin off of that. But it's all about, pacing yourself, slowing down. Plus, you're the heel. The heel majority of the time needs to go for pinfalls. So nothing problematic with that. If anything, the ending was fantastic. I love the setup for the end.
Yeah, it was a real good ending. Yeah, I think the ending is what brought it up to possible first starting matchup. It was a bit slow, but it improved with time. And thinking about it now, I'd probably get it
I'm not gonna rate it.
You're not gonna rate it? Alright. Well, I'll just say that's an okay match. I don't really think a rating's necessary. There are only 2 matches that I kind of want to put a rating on in this show.
I know exactly which ones you want. That's pretty much because they were phenomenal, both of them. But now moving on to the next match, Alexa Love and Cassidy. First off, this match stole my heart. I was in a call with Nova, and it still in both of our hearts. They were doing really well, fantastic well. And then just got to the last, I think 3 minutes in the match, where I forgot what happened, but there was really an accident, and then it just dragged.
It dragged it so hard to the floor. That's why. Yeah, it was slow. It's kind of the reverse of the other match. How the other match started really slow, then it eventually got better with the middle, then the ending. This match started off incredibly well, was fantastic in the middle, but just dragged to the floor in the ending, basically.
I think there was something, or Alexa Love, I talked to Alexa Love, she, I think she messed up, because she said Cassidy was trying to end that match, but she kept dragging it, and to be, as long as she's learning from it, I'm fine. I kind of argue both Danny and Ricky, or Danny, Ricky, and this match. I really don't know what's the weakest or not, so I just kind of put it as undecided and just leave it as that. But like you said, gosh, the beginning, and it just picked up in the middle. I wish it was doing so well.
They could have easily been one of the best matches on the show. Period. I think that if it stayed as consistent as it was, it maybe would have been the best match. And that's really saying something.
Yeah, it was doing really well. And it's not that, it's just because we look at matches all the time. As far as like women's wrestling, we've been watching all the time, and TKS is another thing that we'll probably be reviewing in possibly the future, and but this match, it's nice to get like a nice classic back and forth, women's match that tells a story, has the set character, has everything, all that factors everything, and that's what this brought. And then the ending, like you said, it kind of reminds you. Nah, I can't say that, but it kind of reminds you of the Scarlet Malachi is what I was gonna say. The ending kind of brought it down. Ending brought this down, of course, but I don't know. Anything you want to add on, or you want to move on to the match?
No, I do think we want to move on to the match, but I was wondering, like, because I'm trying to remember, because there were a lot of segments that I found really good, and I was trying to wonder if this is where. Yep, I was trying to wonder, is this where the segment comes in? Because I know that there were a few. There's the GTA scene. God bless that GTA scene. There was I think that came on later, like after the first hour. But I was wondering, is this where the attack happens? I'm not sure. Like, is this
think
where
it was around this? It was around either this match or after the title match, the mid card title. Yeah.
So we'll just address them one after the other, I guess. Like if we miss out on the times of it, like we're sorry, and like please post in the comment section below. But so we get onto this match. So my boy Calvin Carter came out to that ring, hosted an open challenge, and then Malachi came out. And I was so excited and I was so worried at the same time.
I was this match, it was great. It was.
We just have one complaint. Like, that's basically it. But it was a great match. And basically our only complaint, like, okay, there's some other stuff, like it could have had like more targeting to the legs and stuff like that if you really wanted to do like the move at the end. But I understand why you didn't want to target the legs, because you didn't want to take out the arsenal of Malachi. So it's like, it was exactly what it needed to be and better. The only complaints I have is that I kind of think that this could have been just like on a pay-per-view, and it would have been perfect.
Yes. I have two gripes then. My only gripe is, I mean, it can get away with it because it was a title match. I go back and forth with Nova about this, but I don't know, the edit where the Daniel Bryan come back into the handspring Pele, I thought it was a bit much to me.
Just a bit. Like, it gets a lot of leeway because it was a title match, but it was a bit much. I'll say that.
Other than that, like I said, I would have loved to see this at a pay-per-view. I really thought, because I don't know the plans yet for CTO, but I really thought Malachi to kind of, feed on the underdog story, because that's where we left off last year, him being an underdog, to like make Calvin like win cheaply or unfairly or DQ or something.
Yeah, it's
or,
like, I'm actually, like, here's the thing. On one hand, you get a heel champion who can get the job done. That's a great thing to have. A fantastic thing to have. You don't want your heel champion always winning dirty. Not always, But the thing is, the thing about this is that it's kind of a bit of a missed opportunity to really just push this forward and to have this continue on pay-per-view or CPV. Like, they can still do it, but if they had just had the match end like a bit anticlimactically, with him walking off or something like that, they really could have they really could like savored this type of high class matchup for them till the pay-per-view.
I just felt, I was like, you do get free matches away. Of course, there's some matches that you do get free on the episodes. I feel like this one is like your moneymaker though. This one is like, I know this isn't real, but treating it as if it was real, this is like your moneymaker match. Like the match that gets people in seats to watch the wrestling. And Malachi and Calvin are fantastic workers. But
two of the best in CTO at this point. Because when you think about CTO, it's like, yeah, I think CTO's roster is growing a bit stronger, but it's like with the additions of two people after this match, and we'll talk about them later. But it's like it's growing stronger. But these two are some of the best, and I feel as if, the Global Championship. These are the two guys where I could arguably see them even main eventing a CPV question mark. It's weird because people have talked about for a long time, women's wrestling main eventing, CPVs, main eventing pay-per-views in real life, and I've always thought about something. In like a very, very conflicted manner, and it's like I see a woman. I do think that the women's wrestling should main eventing a CPV is great, especially if they can back it up. But I've always questioned: can a mid-card title realistically open up the CPV? Not open up main event. And I'm thinking to myself, yes. But you have to have two people that make you care about it.
Yeah.
You have the two people that raise the prestige of that title to the point that it is the workhorse title every damn time. Because that's what the mid-card title is. It's the workhorse title, basically.
Yeah, I don't see it as a main event, and here's my thought because of that. Because in every pay-per-view, your world title is not necessarily the best worker. It's best all around or story, and it really closes off. But there's some matches that top that doesn't even need a title that can be the main event. The reason why I say the mid-card title should open up the show or be the middle of the match is because, like you said, the mid-card is supposed to have your best wrestling, and majority of the time the best matches come in the middle of the card if the main event is a letdown. And
for a really because do you want to continue? I'm sorry that I interrupted you.
No, I was gonna finish by saying, because it really is, it's nice to have a solid core of guys that can work, because now once they're finally over as a worker, you can implement the story and build a character with them. As far as with that title, to move them up to the world title, to bring that wrestling that you embedded in them into that world title scene. But that's my thought.
Yeah. It's what you want in a successful pay-per-view and CPV in real life, on any night, is that when the opener comes up for a CPV, it has to be really, really good. It has to be either on par or below the main event. That's what you want, ideally, for a CPV, unless you have a really built card, basically. And what I mean by that is, if you have three matches, all that aren't for the mid card title, where it's they're all main event quality and they're all in the 3 main event slots or something, and you really want to spread out your matches because you don't have a quality round of matches that could really get the job done, and keep a sustainable show, then you put the mid-card title in the mid of the card. But when you have a sustainable amount of matches that can keep the flow of the card going, you really, really want that mid-card title to open up, and you want that title match to be equal or better to the main event. I'm going to use a perfect example on the P4 side. New Age Horizons, Terra in Tokyo, Sebastian Case versus Joey Legend. That's a perfect example of a mid-card title holder who's opening up the show, having a match that's like in some people's eyes better than the main event, but in my eyes, I kind of put it on par for a lot of aspects, and it's like that's what you really, really want when you're opening up a show, because it gets people fired up.
Yeah, or don't make the mistake. Well, I don't know if it's a mistake or not. The whole extinguished situation, that's a whole different story though. This whole no, I'm not going to get into that. Next match, I'm gonna move on from that.
Yeah.
Oh wait, do you want to rate this match? Because it was so good.
4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys may get a bit confused in our rating system, because the thing is, we were kind of trashing the Malachi versus Scarlet match, but we're really praising this match, and they ended up getting the same rating. You're asking, why is that? And it's simple. This match had 0 to no build, yet it delivered spectacularly in all forms of wrestling.
It was a good wrestling match. An open challenge.
It was a good wrestling match that just so happened to happen. And when you can get someone to care about a match like that easily without even having a feud involved, that's like a really good, praiseworthy match, essentially. So yeah, that's the rating we give it. And then we're not sure if this segment goes on after or before the match. But this is like the segment with Gucci gets attacked by John Brody.
You're not gonna hear anything from me because I thought everything was good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Every scene I thought was good. So I mean,
funny
as far as anything,
and you know what? It keeps a great consistency with the character because he's still racist.
You didn't have to say that. Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, I am an asshole, but I'm joking mostly. But yeah, it's just ignore what I said. Actually, you know what, Darren, cut that out. You cut that out. Save that for the bloopers edition. But
all right.
Yeah, but it was okay. Starting now. Yeah, it was really good. That's all we have to say. Nothing else. Moving on. I think this is where we get Saban versus franchise.
It had to follow that match. Hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to put a match that can be good with the name Saban and franchise, who they know each other very well. But
sorry.
Or you said what?
I was just gonna say, like, I think there was the franchise promo beforehand that was pretty good. Just wanted to mention that pretty quick. But yeah, I do agree. Like, they were put in a kind of a bit of a bad position. I kind of wish that the tag match had happened here, like a tag match we see later on. You know. But it was put into a bit of a bad position, and it's not that the match wasn't good, because it was. We have a few gripes on it, but it was good for what it was supposed to be, which was just basically the start of their careers in CTO.
And yeah, the whole best friend thing, the best friend feud as well.
Yeah.
It was good. It's just you put a great wrestling match, like Scarlet. I said Scarlet. It's in my head. Calvin and Malachi. And they gotta follow that. Well, you're already drained because Malachi and Calvin was great.
It was very high. It's not just that it was great. It's the fact that it was high impact. Every moment you were invested in the match, and you got more and more excited to the ending. It was a really high impact match, because if it had been a slow storytelling match, then I could see like something like this going on after, and you can be kind of fine with it. Because it's like the match, the way the matches happen is that they appeal to you differently, and yeah, you're a bit exhausted from each. But this is a really hard hitting match in that it's supposed to take the win out of you as a viewer.
Yeah, And so, with that, I just I I can't really rate this match, mostly because I know they're gonna do more in the future, and the pay-per-view one probably is probably gonna be the best one. I'm hoping for probably a classic, because I feel there's a lot of potential in this, in that storyline. Kind of like goes back to how you said in a CPV or whatever, you want that balance of a great opener, a great middle, and a great end. And I feel like that this match could be in one of those spots to really help out.
Probably the opener. I'd say the opener.
Most likely the opener, yes.
Because they already, I think, like, with the way that things could possibly go, I see certain things, like, taking up the middle,
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's if this match is happening, and unless something horrible happens. But, all likelihood this match happens, because afterwards, franchise did have that attack on Sabin. Which is like we kind of saw it coming. Another, like, this is more of a little bit of a nitpick, but the thing about franchise is he was coming into here a heel. His promo at the beginning really seemed like a heel. So when he turned on Sabin, it seemed pretty obvious. Because the thing about, like, your Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn situation. The thing about that is Kevin Owens came in as a face.
Owens did a great job, man. He because when they
he
celebrated,
came in as a face, yeah.
Yeah.
And no one saw it. No one saw it coming. I don't care who you are, what you say. No one saw it coming. We should have, but we didn't, because Kevin Owens was acting so much like a face. He was getting so many cheers too, and it was like they really did it in a dramatic way, where like he was celebrating with Sammy, he was celebrating with him, and just boom, drills his head on the floor, and then power bombs him onto the apron. Good God.
It was good because I remember watching it. You know how they have that little copyright, blah, 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 14, 15, whatever year it was.
Yeah, because they had that there, too. They had it there, so you thought it was the end.
Yep. And then just boom. Yeah.
It's kind of like what happened with CWC, where you weren't really expecting what happened at the end of the match with, like, Cedric. Yeah. Because it had already went off air. And then you're about to get off, and then you just peek at something, and you're just like, oh, this is an emotional moment. And then bam, Triple H comes out.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what the fuck? And Triple H was just like, yeah, I'm signing him. And everyone was just like, what?
Yeah,
what?
Yeah, that was that moment. A little bit anticlimactic, but that's just, nitpick, like Nova said. This leads into Heather Spades, I believe. Yeah, Heather Spades. Cut a promo.
Yeah. Pretty sure it was...
Still has a title shot.
Best promo of the night.
I take Milla.
You take Camilla,
when she came out and cut her promo, I felt there was a lot of intensity in that.
Okay. I see what you mean. Okay, yeah. Now that I'm really thinking about it, I do think Camilla was the best. But this is where I felt like a bit of energy coming through with Heather, which we kind of lacked from Sean and Calvin, because Calvin had it too, and his felt kind of standard. Yeah, but Heather was like bringing out a bit of actual, like, substance, to it that was really making it interesting for me. And then when you have that, that's like that. It was the best promo of the night so far. And then we got to Camilla, and everything changed.
Yeah, this is where the show kind of started picking up.
Really, like Calvin and Malachi,
yeah. And so, Heather I see the story. She still has a title shot. I was watching. I know she has won her title shot. So that's cool to have like a, I guess it's like a Money in the Bank aspect sort of deal. So I think that's cool. I think that leads for a dramatic moment regarding the women's championship. By the way, I'm excited for Alexa Love and Rachel. I know this is like side plug. I should have said this a long time ago, but yeah, I'm excited for that. Anyway, then we move into Camilla's. Lot of energy.
Match in between? No, I don't think so.
There probably was. It might have been. I can't remember the order. I just know Milla came out, did the promo, and then the tag match happened.
It may have been something with Brody. It may have been like an interview with Brody or something. I think.
Nah, Brody didn't cut a promo.
He did?
He didn't cut a promo. He didn't cut a promo the whole night. Mm-mm.
I thought there were around. Maybe this is where the other segment came in. Yeah, I think because I remember. Yeah, I remember the GTA scene coming before the Camaro promo.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So that was what there was there. That was fantastic. I was laughing my ass off.
Heather is heel of the night because Heather pulled the Shawn Michaels. And I'm very proud of that. Came with Anaya Vidal's theme because apparently she had left CTO. And they had the farewell video package and stuff, and she came out to Anaya's theme music, and then it was Heather, and it kind of put a heart, kind of stabbed me in the heart a little bit, which is good. But back to Milla's promo. A lot of energy, a lot of energy in the promo. You kind of felt the meaning it meant to Milla as far as talking about she put on these matches, and the killer thing was it was Sean's promo basically. Sean was talking about the same thing, his match with Eric. She was talking about her match with Rachel at Slam Impact. But she seemed to like care a bit more about her future afterwards, and especially when she called out that she's siding with the CEO of CTO, Delilah, which makes for interesting stuff in future episodes. So. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
Here's the thing. I got a bit of information from you about how this is being teased, but since I didn't really watch so strictly beforehand, I don't really know if I can give a full opinion. I don't know how well it's been teased. I don't know what their relationship has been every time for the past few years in CTO. So I really don't know.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. Yeah.
I do think it was interesting.
Leading into the women's tag match, it was good for what it needed to be.
Yeah.
We needed a cool down. We had two, matches that were really good. We needed to calm down a bit. Little segment between Vixen and Tiffany, who are on Fortune, and that's good, because they had a little segment where Tiffany tagged herself in, Vixen got mad, walked out, she was distracted, pin, all that, so that sets up for Fortune. My only thing about the match, I thought the match was pretty good. It was for the most part, to be honest, I knew it was just the cool down.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was looking, wasn't paying attention to it a lot, but for the most part, I do remember Vixen and Milla had kind of an awesome sequence going on, where Vixen was kind of making her comeback, leading up to Tiffany tagging herself in. Yeah, and so, which is great. That's great. One thing I'll tell Vixen is, one thing I noticed is Vixen's great in the ring. Oh, she's so fast though. She moves 100 miles per hour.
Yeah.
that's a good and a bad thing.
You may want to slow down your stats for that, you know.
Yeah. Like there's a time to go super fast, and there's a time to just slow it down a bit, and just calm and just sell your moves. But for the most part, I mean, Vixen's awesome because I think I cannot remember that sequence, but she hit Miller with some that stunner, then bounced off springboard, hit the crossbody, did the taunt, went to the corner, was getting ready to hit Miller with something, and then got tagged in. I thought that was great. I loved it, and the tag match wasn't too bad either.
Yeah.
You know.
Considering it's a first of all, tag match, and that is interesting, very interesting, because the tag division in Co is all but dead, and even when it was alive, it was kind of dead. That's like just the honest truth. I don't really think we really have, like, a lot of people want to mention your RWU and CCE. Well, first of all, CCE's never got going. CCE's looked promising, but it never got like a championship. And RWU's tag division was kind of ignored after the first 4 episodes. NGC
Lost causes.
NGC lost it too. Because you see like the tag matches and stuff that were supposed to happen, like Scott Burnett and Nanashi, they were a tag team too. And then eventually that fell off, and then, which, yes, okay, look, that can be argued as a really good thing because it fell off. Well, we got Scott Burnett versus AC Arthurs at No Remorse. So, yeah, that's good. But it's like, there weren't any tag titles introduced, you know. And that's kind of my thing. And, like, I feel as if for a tag division to be truly, like, real, like, really established, it has to have, like, an actual title to fight for.
Oh, they didn't have a title?
No, they didn't.
Oh, okay. Well, my favorite part was the lost causes, honestly. There are a lot. I mean, matches was already kind of still dead, like you said, but it was something new and refreshing, and I like the lost causes, and
I like them, but I like them, and I like the story. I just do not. Something about Cameron Bash really drew me off in the way he played his matches with those two.
Yeah.
I'm not really a fan of Cameron Bash when it comes to his matches. Something about the way he plays his character doesn't sit right with me.
We're getting off topic though.
Yeah.
Tag match now goes to the other match that we'll give a rating for the main event. Brody and Sean. Okay. As you all know, I was a big fan of Brody back in last year, coming off the last season. Adofo saw a match of Brody RWF. It wasn't his best. So, but this one, well, let's see what Nova has to say about this.
Okay, real talk here. I did not like Brody until this match. This match is a great way to make me care about someone that I didn't really like in the beginning. Because I heard a lot from you and from some other people that Brody was the best big man on, like, Xbox. And, I asked about Sean. You said Sean's not. We don't count Sean as the big man. We count him as John Cena. I was like, okay, but okay, fine.
It's true though. It's true.
Yeah, but the thing is, I was like, it's still. I wasn't really that impressed when he had the 2K16. I saw his match with Malachi, and the main thing is he kept doing the whole Stardust, what's the name of the move? Where that's just like, he puts you down, basically. The new move that was added on, where it's just like, they catch the arm, they trip you up, they do a face pit, they do a face planter, a flatliner, yeah. The new flatliner. He kept doing that in his matches, and I think it was because he didn't really have his moveset fixed, but that kind of drew me off. Yeah, but then this match came, and I instantly liked him. I'm a big fan of Sean's. I think Sean is easily one of the best, if not the best, on Xbox, period. And this match was really good. Like, this match is one that you can argue to be as good or better than Calvin versus Malachi at times.
Yeah. It's because this one had a bit more story. It actually had a lot more story, and then the ending was great. I don't know. The ending was just you got everything you needed to happen, basically.
To set up for what's going to be. To set up for like the next, because like, to set up for what's gonna happen. Because if you haven't watched it, first of all, why are you watching this? You've received so many spoilers by now, like so many. But basically, Brody spears Sean through the barricade and they got counted out. And the thing is, that's been overused a bunch of times. But the thing is, it was necessary here because Sean, as a character, has been built to be a monster in the sense that I can't realistically see anyone challenging him and beating him. Brody, on the other hand, came in and kicked his ass. And that's how you make him, basically. Yeah. You haven't come in, you haven't attacked a former world champion, I believe, in Kiguchi.
Yes.
Yeah, a former world champion. And then you have him destroy another world champion, the current world champion. First of all, that's amazing. Second of all, the match is really good because of the fact that it was really back and forth. And maybe it was a little too much, but the way it worked is that they were both big men and they both had to look strong against one another. And they did.
I think Stone Cold said it best. One thing I just want to address as far as community today, we do focus on the flips and all that good stuff. All that, it's cool. Even when it has story, it's cool. But honestly, I think Stone Cold said it best. You can go out and you can put on like a 5-star performance just doing you and being you. You just have to work it to sell the emotion. If you're a brawler, don't go to the top rope or think about doing flips here, flips there. It's not necessary. Just stick to who you are basically, and you can pull off what kind of Brody and Sean did here.
Yeah.
Two big guys and they did fantastic. The chair. I know this is like the little details I love. When the scene after where he's attacking with the chair. I love how Brody hit him with the chair. And this is small things, just small things. And as you see Sean is selling. The game automatically sells. He's selling, flinching around. And then he flips over. Finally, he stops and then hits him with the chair again. I don't know. I just love that. I guess it was just a bit of emotion getting drawn out of me. Mm-hmm. I guess. I don't know. But I just love the slow, methodical of the chair hitting him or hitting Sean constantly. And kind of Brody really analyzing where to destroy Sean, especially when he got put through the barricade. He's hurting in the midsection area, and so yeah.
It was definitely a great match. It was for the world. The one thing I thought weird is they didn't have the graphic. They had the graphic, but they didn't have the whole title thing, which I feel as if that's kind of a scene that really would have worked there, like since the world title was on the line.
Yeah.
That was one thing where I felt as if they missed the detail, but otherwise it was a very detailed, like basically story setup. Because
I love it.
Yeah, if you have like a show now and you're already setting the seeds for what's possibly gonna be the two best matches, on your next CPV, that's a good thing. You have Brody and Sean, and then you have Sabin and Franchise. You have those two matches basically just there. All you have to do is set them up perfectly, and then you're given two matches that that can basically carry your card.
I would have something in the middle, because the middle is very important of the card too.
Yeah.
But that's probably going to be Calvin. Yes, do something with Calvin. Who knows what they're going to do with that global championship. But I'm curious to see. Other than that, episode is fantastic. Best episode of CTO I've seen out of all of them. Great start.
Especially at 2K16. It's because, like, when you think about it, they were kind of inactive then, and they were starting to get lost in the shuffle. And they had their live events, but those weren't really that impressive. But boom, they come out with this, and everything's right. Another thing I want to talk about that we haven't really mentioned. The new commentator, who I believe, is Sean.
You know it's Sean.
I know. I'm joking. But yeah, it is Sean. It is Sean, and he's amazing.
He sells very good. He sells very well. Are you going to be brutally honest here? Yeah, you are. Okay, I'll let you talk.
Yeah, the one thing I'd say is like for him to have a bit more enthusiasm. But the thing is, like, I can actually understand why. Because, like, for the matches he didn't have enthusiasm on, the matches were kind of dragging, and he was probably getting tired. So that's basically it. But he was really good. I think him and probably Malachi, although people are going to disagree with me because people don't really like Malachi's voice. And it's like, I understand that, but Malachi's always been good at being very energetic in the matches and really hyping stuff up. I think they would make a great commentary team. I know they're both face. I know, like, both of their commentary, like, personnel are faces. But I think they make a great commentary team, and I think they're basically the two best commentators on the Xbox side.
Yeah. Aside from, who's that one guy? What is it? Bomber. Aaron Bomber.
Yeah, really Bomber's good too. Yeah.
Yeah. But, I don't know, I mean, that's pretty much all I got as far as covering Malachi and Scarlet and CTO Corruption Episode 1. Anything you want to add on before we close this out? Because I think we've been talking for about an hour.
Yeah, I just want to like take a bit of a time to say congratulations, kind of, to the Xbox side. And okay, this is not supposed to sound like... I don't know how to say it. This isn't supposed to sound pretentious because it may come off it. But, like, it's like this is where everything's really starting to, like, come out for you guys. Like the really good matches, the nitty-gritty and stuff. This is where everything's starting to come out. And I'm pretty excited for it. Like, I'm pretty happy with it. And I feel as if everything's, like Darren said, the PS4 side is starting to grow into its own. Not the PS4 side. The PS4 side is starting to recognize the Xbox side a bit more, and I feel as if it is due to like these two like events that happened. So I just want to say like congrats to that. You put on like 2 great shows that had 3 sustainable 4-star matches.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty good.
And as always, like I like to say at the end, wrapping up the meaningless reviews. Look, anything we say, remember, it's just our opinion. Just remember that it's our opinion. You don't have to take it to heart. If you do what we like to do, to give you an opinion, is take it, and try to better yourself. We want to give you a tool to better yourselves. Nobody reviews stuff, anymore, and we need help. If we want to get better, we need to, voice our opinions and all that good stuff and whatnot. So, just take this, with a grain of salt. Don't, if we hurt your feelings, I'm sorry. Okay, me being blunt, not really. But anyway, yeah, I mean, that's all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Probably gonna do this with Nova, unless, Nova's like taking too long. Then I'm gonna just do this on my own. But I hope you enjoyed. And Nova, any last words?
No, I'm pretty good.
Well,
I just want to say that have a good day, everyone. Peace.
All right.